Recording?
Kids hockey sucks, by the way, just so you know.
An amazing pre-show. An amazing pre-show today. We do need to find a way to do something with that.
Oh yeah, I think we should at least record it, and then we could put the shorts up, and that could be sponsored.
Yeah.
I feel like going live with it's a little dangerous.
Oh no, yeah, no, not live, not
So
live.
is
but-
recording
edit.
it. Some prick like Alex will get his hands on it and just blackmail the piss out of us.
You were
Yeah,
yelling at
totally,
Alex. You were yelling at Ryan.
Yeah,
You told Ryan to F off or shut the F up. is what it was.
Yesterday-
I think that's what it was. And it's
Wow. Come on. Yesterday, Alex was doing the show from the bathtub.
It did sound like he was in the tub.
Yeah, rubber ducky.
Splish splash, something like that.
Weird.
Okay.
Rhett was telling a riveting story, and
Can you
Sorry.
regale us once again? So about somebody the banker.
Stop.
And
Just
something-
stop. Stop. Let me do it if I'm going to do it. Right? All right. I would say in the last 10 days, on 10 different occasions, I have thought of a person, and within minutes, and maximum of 5 minutes, I have received a text message, phone call, or email from that person. As I
Like your
signed
wife?
into the show today, as I was signing in, I thought of my banker. I signed in. I said hello, told Pinder to F off, grabbed my phone. In that amount of time, my banker had phoned me. Since thinking about him, phoned my phone, message on my phone from the banker.
Now, is it one of those things where it's completely out of left field, or is it today's Thursday? I have to remember to pay the banker.
100%.
Oh, I got to remember to talk to the
Don't interrupt
banker,
me.
and then
100% out of left field. We have not talked. I was actually pissed off because, like, he's doing things with my money and he needs to keep me abreast of these things. And actually, the
Right.
reason I was thinking I need to talk to him was that it's
Mhm.
probably been months and no updates. Hey, Damas, you might, you take all this dough, you piss it away, and not even a call. Like, come on. And anyway,
yeah,
bankers.
is he going to get a stern talking to?
Depends on the news he delivers, right, Dean?
Yeah,
Positive
You
news?
listen here, John Petty Cash III. You're not going to be handling my money if it goes like this much more.
Listen here, Scrooge McDuck.
That's right. Now, do you feel like you're under surveillance? Like, what was it? What was the show that Jim Carrey was in where it was like,
Truman Show.
yeah, the Truman Show. You feel like you're in the Truman Show? Like there's people watching and they hear you mention a guy or think about a guy, like, oh, we got to put that guy in this scene. You ever wonder about that?
I do wonder about that. There's a lot of stuff
Well,
out there that's.
Listening to you.
You can go
I do
down a
get the
rabbit
feeling.
hole.
Yeah,
Sure could.
that sometimes Rhett is of the opinion that it's only his life that matters, that everybody else is just kind of watching his life, and therefore,
No, the coincidences, Dean. It's not about that. It's the coincidences that are uncanny.
What the hell's that supposed to mean anyway, Mulberg?
welcome to the show. It's Barn Burner on a Thursday. We are here in the Tower Chrysler studio.
Rhett's going to be the star of the show today. You can put
Feel
that
free to
around
explain
minus
yourself.
200.
Feel free to explain yourself. You have a mic and an open audience that want to hear what kind of BS is behind that shitty comment you just made.
Hey,
Dude.
you gonna eat
Another one
that
bites the
crust? We were singing before the show got going today. Yeah. Yeah. So you are not doing a show tomorrow because Ryan and I are unavailable.
No, you're going to do the show tomorrow, right?
Because you're available tomorrow, correct?
So I'm a listener. I'm a great listener, and I pay attention to people's words and wisdom and advice. And yesterday, Dean made a comment about certain chairs. You sit in certain chairs, you're good at certain roles, you do certain things, you got to stay in your lane. And I feel like me taking over is maybe not the role or the chair I should be in.
That's interesting. I never thought about that. He's never really hosted, has
Yeah, you're a good. Someone's the generator.
he? Yeah.
You're the reactor.
Right.
So you're a very good reactor.
You're like a nuclear reactor. It's a very
I was like
powerful
that with the
reaction
fights. I
molecules.
didn't like to start the fights. I was more of a, if shit was going on, I could get in a fight.
You're a finish 'em. I'm gonna. Okay.
I don't
You're
know.
the
I don't know
finisher.
if I didn't finish too many either, but
You didn't lose too many, though. I feel like you did a good job of drawing fights.
I
Hey?
could fake. Yeah, well, above that.
Throw hard, hit
okay?
the deck. Let's go.
You know who was
That's
good at
toughest.
that? One of the best.
Tying him up.
Brandon Prust.
Prusty, really?
Prusty was a good defensive scrapper.
Because he was giving up size in most of his fights.
all the time. Yeah.
Langdon.
Not getting hit's the key if you're Prusty.
Darren Langdon was maybe the best ever at it. Kelly Chase was top shelf at it. Prusty was really good at it. Yeah, it's an art. It's an art.
Did Kelly Chase send over any more rib ticklers for you there? No.
Did I tell you I talked to Kelly Chase?
You did.
Yes,
Yeah.
you did, yeah.
You okay, bud? So I feel all of this sort of. I can't believe what's happening.
Did I mention Kelly Chase, or is this thing happening again? Is this the 11th time in 11 days where I've thought of somebody and then the universe manifested it?
It'll be
But
great. There'll
that
be a
be-
video pop up from the Bills game where some tall
I
man
was just thinking about
fell
the
down
Bills.
the entire flight of stairs, hitting his head on every step on the way down. Oh my God, it's Rhett. I've been having the weirdest week. I just can't believe some of the. I think of something and then it happens. It's unbelievable. You're concussed. You're not Marty McFly. You're concussed. That's what's happening.
Worst concussion. And actually, it ties into one of our sponsors.
Huh?
But I don't, actually, I can't. I better not. I better not.
Oh.
I'll just say.
Eating
I'll say
potato
this.
salad? What the fuck?
I'll say worst concussion I had. I had a concussion and I didn't know it. And one
There it
day
is. The injury report.
I played. We hadn't played a game for like 2 days, and I was sitting at we were playing that day, so I was having a pregame meal. I was sitting I was sitting at the bar at this place, and I'd ordered my food, and I was sitting with someone else, and I looked over at them, and I said, "Where in the F are we?" And
What
they're
city?
like,
What bar?
What? Well, it's irrelevant. And they're like, "What are you talking about? We're pregame." And I'm like, "Well, how did we get here? Like, what are we doing here?" Then I started getting mad because I was so confused. And they're like,
Frustrated.
"Ooh, this
This is
he's
not
either
ideal.
stroking out or he's going down somehow." Yeah. They had to call. I think they said they called Lindy Ruff or one of the team trainers, and they're like,
Okay, so it was in Buffalo.
let's-
That's our first clue.
let's try to get
Okay.
him home.
So that
You can visit them online. McLeod Law.
there's your injury report right
There's
there.
your injury report.
Yeah.
McLeod-law.com. Follow them on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at McLeod Law LLC.
So what we've gleaned from that story is at some point during Rhett's portion of his career, he was in Buffalo. He was in a place with a guy and didn't know how they got there.
Yeah.
Very slim
gonna
on
text-
details. We can't divulge
gonna-
our sources. Don't want to get anyone in trouble.
I'm gonna text you guys because
All
I
right.
think it was the anyway. But I was
See, now I
also
wanna start
happy. I
pissing
can
about this.
also happy to report that they let me play that night, so that was good.
I'm so happy. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
Gamer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's good. No worries.
You're all right now, though. Oh yeah, no problem. Big game. Let's go.
Yeah. I was
It's a
thinking
quick healer.
I was thinking the other day about the worst. I don't know why. Again, things you think of. The worst head knock that I ever took. I remember playing
it when you
ball
were skiing?
hockey. Oh, you know what? I was wearing a helmet, which
Oh,
helped.
good.
Well, I wouldn't have been wearing a helmet then. It was soft snow. No, playing summertime at the hockey rink, and hot outside, still cool in the arena. They open the back, kind of the garage door. Anyway, the floor gets kind of damp. Slipped and fell, hit my head on the concrete floor of the arena. I still remember it vividly. The sound that it made, a cross between a tung that you hear in your ears and the clack, like if you were to drop a bowling ball on like the combination of both. I remember Clinton Dixon stood over top of me, and he looked down. I just remember Clinton. No, Clay. Not Clinton.
You haven't
Clayton looked over. That must have fucking smarted, is what he said to me. So yeah, I kind of did. I wasn't right for a while. It was not good. Some would say still, but here we are. Good to see you, Retro.
Someone replied to my texts, and I think they're out to lunch. I totally think they're clueless as to what I was talking about. But anyway, it's nice to see you too.
Well, like we were saying, the details were very vague. We barely got it out of you that it was in Buffalo. The rest is, yeah.
I text you, dumbasses. So
I see nothing.
Look at the text message. What do you mean you see nothing?
I haven't got a text from you.
On the barn burner. Anyway, welcome to the show. Game day for the Calgary Flames. They are at home against the Chicago Blackhawks. Then it'll be off to Seattle to play the Kraken, and then it'll be a long break for the team.
10 days-ish.
I guess depending, Retro, what happens in these next two games. Ordinarily, a break of this length, it would be too long. You don't want to. You sure wish you could just keep playing right now. Maybe this break comes at a perfect time. They need to get away. What's your sense on where the Flames sit, I guess, mentally right now with 2 games in 2 nights and then like a 9-day break?
See, I think if they win, they should keep rolling. If they lose, then they need to break. It's almost, I mean, I feel that way for every team, right? If you're on a roll, what are we doing? Why are we interrupting this? If you're on a losing streak, it's like, okay, let's get the hell away and regroup here. So
I think the Tanev thing's the biggest, isn't it? Like you just want all the time to get that guy a chance to be back, missing fewer games, not more. That feels to me like it trumps any other sort of situation in terms of, mental fatigue. That's big minutes. It's a crucial part of this team. The record without him is dog shit.
I was going to say certainly Tanev because of the injury. And I don't know what you do. Is there some kind of, those kind of rehab things in the desert where you go and you just sit in a hot tub and it's like silent, some kind of a Zen thing? If you can send Jacob Markstrom somewhere, do something with him over this 9-day break and have him come back and be at last year's levels or pre this year, I feel like that's paramount. Markstrom does go tonight against the Hawks. He, of course, got pulled. He played 35 seconds of the second period in the January 8th game. They lost 4-3 in overtime. He allowed 3 on 11 and got yarded out. Vidar came in, stopped 13 of 14.
Stopped them all till overtime.
But and I know at dailyfaceoff.com, Seravalli has an article out on the Calgary Flames draft or the trade deadline needs, this sort of thing. And in there, you need better goaltending, among other things, but you need better goaltending. He was at 922 save percentage last year. He hasn't been over 9 for any number of minutes this year. He comes into tonight 13, 12, and 5 is the record. 2.82 goals against, an 895 save percentage. He needs
30
to be
games,
better.
13 wins. That's not enough.
Not near enough. No.
And it's been early too. This it's first shots. It's falling behind early. Sometimes it's not how many, it's when. And this team falling behind early is not a great recipe. So we've seen it a lot in his more recent starts. Like he battens down the hatches in Nashville, but it was too early, 3 early in Chicago. Could you get it to the first intermission with a 0? This team would feel a whole lot better.
I don't know that the Flames are going to they're not going to start scoring significantly more goals than what we've seen.
Maybe
I think they are for the most part what they are. Is what they are, and I don't think
the power play getting a little better, but they're still middle third of the league for goal scoring, aren't they? Like, look at
you're not going to bring in somebody at a deadline that's going to change all of that. The answers have to be in that room. If you're going to get better, it's going to be with more or less the cast and crew that you have there.
And like if Manjapani has a 12 to 15 goal second half, you're like, I can see that.
Are we talking about a half goal a game
for Manjapani? A little less than that.
No, the team.
A half would be a fair amount. That would be a considerable uptick. Yeah.
And that'd
be good if that happened.
Real.
It probably puts them from like 20th to like 11th, 12th or something like that. I'll look.
They're just at this point, you are what your kind of record says you are. And was it last year? Daryl had kind of said, they set out those pre-season goals. We want to be top 10. We want to be top 10. Goals for, they're 18th.
Yeah.
Goals against, they're 15th. Their power play is 23rd. Their penalty kill is 5th. And obviously, Jacob Markstrom with a sub 900 save percentage is not going to be anywhere near the top 10 there.
No, and there's a lot of middling stats there. That's the one that I think would lead you to believe there's more offense is the shooting percentage and the power play. They're due for a little more luck around the net. That's, I think, criminally low, below league average. They do seem to settle for lower quality shots, so I wouldn't expect them to go above league average. And I think the power play's got all the tools to be better than one of the worst 10 in the league.
I don't know. Do you shoot less, right? Do you ever tell your team, don't shoot the puck?
No,
you always hear shoot more.
Go to high traffic areas, though, right?
But it does feel like a lot of these nights, and again, we've talked about this a lot, where the shot totals you don't have a problem with. The scoring chances.
That's more the issue. Yeah.
More
and that's
the issue.
correlated to finishing for sure. So, like, I'm not here saying they should be shooting 11%. I don't think they should be. They haven't done a good enough job of getting in front of goalies and rebounds. Like, tell me about good rebound chances they've had. That's sort of been a problem here. I don't mind you taking shots from well out, but you better have some traffic and someone in front.
Power plays.
I think they're too slow to get to the hard areas.
They've looked quicker since the kids, but yeah, there's a lot of average or below average skaters on this team.
And I don't know that I hope it would make a difference, but my point is that, okay, so you got guys driving wide. They want to get shots on net. They're getting played well. So the play is to get the puck to the net. Can the other guy get there for the rebound or to be interfering, or not interfering, but screening, or be a pain in the ass in front? I don't know if that, I'm making excuses.
I mean, they're not a dynamic offensive club. You can't make the case that they are. And unless they're going to add a Tarasenko type, they won't be. The one thing you haven't unlocked is Huberdeau, and maybe it's not going to happen, but it sure doesn't look like it is going to happen if Lucic is on the other side of that line. If you give another dynamic playmaker to Kadri and Huberdeau, I think there's more there. Daryl doesn't seem interested in that. We're approaching over a month now with Lucic on that line.
The Hawks were part of that.
Sorry. I want to stay in that train of thought, because what is going on with that situation? Everyone in the hockey world, aside from Daryl, thinks that this is a piss poor idea, right? Would that be the?
I would think nobody would slot Milan Lucic as a second liner in the NHL. No one would do that. It would be silly. He's been operating as a fourth liner for 2-3 years, right?
So why are we doing it?
Can I throw this out as potential? Because that Mangiapane, Backlund, Coleman line really works, and Dubé's been pretty good on that top line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If those, right, if you had flux in those other spots, do you not think that maybe that changes?
I think that's the thing. I don't think they want to break up that back line, but it would just, to me, I know it's Daryl and we know why he's doing it, but it's really obvious to give Ruzicka and Pelche a try there, given their skill sets, and that Pelche's and Ruzicka's production when put next to skilled players has been phenomenal in the American League, and for Ruzicka, very good in the NHL. Not when he's on the fourth line, but when he's playing top nine. He hasn't tried it. And it's stubborn old man that really, I don't think, is in much interest in changing the way he views the world at this phase of his career. He's not trying to line up a resume for his next job. He wants to do things this way. Why he's doing it? There's lots of theories. I mean, is he trying to show the GM what he's missing by placing a huge hole in the lineup? Is he trying to prove to Jacob Pelche that you have to win me over? You don't get anything for free? Is he sending messages to Ruzicka that unless you're working hard, you don't get moved into the top nine? It could be a lot of things, but it's clear that he trusts a veteran that's turning over the puck a ton and that's way over his skis playing second line minutes.
Yeah. The only reason that makes sense to me, I don't disagree with some of the points that Pinder just made, but I think what you put out there, Boom, was probably the closest to the truth.
I think if you have the other two lines aren't functioning well, then you're going to move guys around. But let's call it the third line: Backlund, Mangiapane, Coleman. They've been very good.
They've been awesome. They've always been good
for weeks now.
Yeah, it's 2 years. Anytime they play together, they've been great.
And now are they Are either of these guys setting the world on fire? No.
Not offensively for the back line, but they're doing some heavy lifting. They're
But
big minutes,
Dubé's
tough minutes, D-zone starts. They've been great.
Given this group of forwards, Dubé, I think, is probably doing as well as you'd expect anybody to do on that line, unless you move Huberdeau, but I just think that's what it is.
Well,
Dubé's been good up there with those two. You want more offense out of your top line, obviously.
It's because Daryl doesn't trust kids. We're kind of overthinking this. Most other teams, Pelche be lifted in there to see how he works with skill. He's a skill player, right? If this is a different coach, where does Pelche get a chance? He goes on that line. His profile is a top 9 player, not a fourth liner.
Yeah.
His whole career.
Is there a can't lose Lucic element to this in Daryl's mind?
I think when they took Lucic out of the lineup, there was, I don't know if the correct word is issues, but I think that's a big personality to have out of the lineup and in your room. And he's been relied on to be a leader, and that's a tough switch for a guy like Luch to go, okay, I feel important. I can be a leader. I have a voice. To, they're going to have you sit up in the rafters there, bud, and have some popcorn.
How long was that? Like 3
days. 3 games, I think.
Yeah. Okay. I agree that, like, we talked about it. You're certainly getting a better Lucic, but I think it's come at the detriment of unlocking more offense from Kadri and Huberdeau.
Well, and
you can see if you could make one more pass or play with more pace, or if Luch can beat a man rather than get tied up on what could be an odd man rush and instead it's a 3-on-3, like, you're just missing another element of skill there. And so I'm not surprised for a past first Huberdeau that, if Luch isn't open, well, that's one less guy I can pass to.
It is it's almost like that Valimaki. Who else? Remember the end of the year when Daryl wouldn't use guys, and you were like, "Why is Gio playing 30 effing minutes? Like, this is
why is Markstrom still playing every game? You're hurting your draft spot." Yeah.
The issue, I think the problem is we're never going to find out the answer if he won't put Pelche up there. You might, if he would do it, you might know within a game. Holy shit, this line is unbelievable. Like, Pelche fits right in like a glove. They had 2 points tonight. Like, you might go, we don't need to make a trade anymore. Right?
I think the GM would love to know that, Rhett, ahead of the deadline.
Yes.
I think that's probably a bit of friction there. That even Matthew Phillips, like, I don't think this guy necessarily is going to be a good NHLer, but you haven't found out. You give him 11 minutes over 2 games. That's not finding out.
Doesn't it feel like we talk about this a lot?
Well, yeah, because it's a big fucking
because they
issue.
have holes. They have holes, and they don't use their best players.
They're not even trying to fill the hole.
And it's what I said last Friday. It's like, it would be one thing if you guys were sitting in 8th overall in the league, right? Not 16th. You're not in the effing playoffs. So don't give me the BS. I said this, I'm repeating myself. Don't give me the BS that we need guys with rings to help us succeed. You're not succeeding. You're out of the playoffs. You're out.
Yeah.
You're out of the playoffs.
If this team was rolling so good like it's Boston, Rhett, okay, there's no room for the kid. There's clearly a fucking hole on that second line.
Yeah, to the point where the GM might have to give up future assets to fill it, to find out if there's someone else that can come in, and you have it in your roster already. And now you've depleted next year, the year after, or down the road, a guy that, who the knows? It could be a 6th overall pick like Mangiapane that you give up. It doesn't seem like anything at the time. And down the road, you're like, well, frick, if we'd have just tried the guy, we wouldn't have had to make that move.
I think the GM would love to know what those skill guys would have looked like there, but he doesn't set the lines. The coach does.
And when I say it seems like we talk about it a lot, I guess I mean kind of longevity. It feels like and I don't know if it's just a Daryl thing, maybe it's a Calgary thing, maybe it's just a Daryl thing. I don't know. It feels like whenever the conversation is, well, if they're going to bring up blank from the American League, I sure hope they play him
with X,
with so-and-so and so-and-so, and not on the 4th line because he's not that kind of player. And the answer almost seems to be, well, yes, he's on the 4th line. And then you don't really see what he's all about. And then you get what you probably
could have
self-fulfilling
prophecy. Yeah.
Exactly.
If Daryl's trying to prove Matthew Phillips wasn't a top line guy, playing him for 11 minutes over 2 games on the 4th line. See, I told you. Well, no, you didn't.
Can't play at the NHL level. Can't play at the NHL level. Look at
Good
it.
post.
Look at his numbers.
Good
It's like,
speed.
well, I don't know if that's the spot. Big D.
And if it feels like we've been talking about a lot, it's because we have been. We watched Phillips lead the league in scoring, finally got called up. But this conversation's been happening since early November to mid-November, and we're in late January. We have been talking about it a lot.
You have no clue what he is. Pelche.
No, God, no.
Phillips. Like,
No,
you
and if you're
still have
Phillips,
no-
like, why
He's
would you
gone.
re-sign here next year as a free agent? Give me one reason. It's your hometown.
Loyalty.
That's it. There's no other.
Hometown. Yeah.
Like, honestly,
No other.
Daryl's not going to give you an honest shake compared to 31 other coaches in this league. And maybe you are a career AHLer, and maybe you should go over to Europe and just bank, and you're not going to be an NHLer. But nothing he's done on NHL ice has shown that. He's been given very sparse minutes and moved with pace and hit a post. Like, he was not out of place. He looked small, but so do a lot of guys that finish top 20 in league scoring.
And I would give Pelche the opportunity first, to be honest with you. I think he was drafted higher. He's a little bit bigger. They're both similar point produce kind of guys in the smaller end of the size spectrum, but Pelche was a first overall pick, and I'm sorry, you get first showing, whatever you want to call it, right? Like, it'll be shameful if we don't know what Pelche is by the end of the year. Again,
well, how about by the deadline? That's the problem.
Well, but mostly based on the fact that you have to make assumptions one way or the other to get into the playoffs or this or that. And all of us, and you don't know what you have in your own house. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
The one variable is,
and they're not winning enough.
Yeah, they're just okay. They're middle of the
What
pack.
are they short? Yeah. How did this start? We're short half a goal a game, or we're not quite offensive enough, right? So you're either going to ask Markstrom, hey, dumbass, start putting up shutouts so we can have easy wins, or you have to find more scoring. Oh, well, if we're not going to play, we can trade for a guy that's making $8 million and bring him in and put him on that line. Sure, that's great. Give up a bunch of assets. Maybe we could trade Pelche for him. Right? Like, what are we talking about?
I know. I hear you. It's a great draft class this year. It's going to be really, really painful if this team in the spot they're in the standings now, parts of the first, because that's a player that could help. If you look at some of the deep draft classes, we were out at Montana's the other day, scamming through draft. Man, like good players in teens, 20s. This is one of those years. It might not be 03, where what was that? The Crosby, Getzlaff, Ladd, everyone played at the whole first round. Like, it might not be that good. I think it was Bergeron in round 2. But if it's even close, you don't want to move that pick. No way.
You don't want to move a pick anyway, unless you know damn well you have to.
And look, like, I get it. Last year, you're in first place. You know you're picking late. It's not necessarily a great draft crop. Toffoli comes in, addresses a need. Like, he has term. I don't mind that deal. There's other parts involved as well, but you get my point. This is not when it's like absolutely move your first. You could miss the playoffs. You're out right now. First, gets into that lottery.
I hate shit that doesn't have a little bit of common sense behind it. And this has no common sense.
So let's say you're working for the Flames. You see Daryl in the hallway. How does this conversation go? Daryl, what are you doing with Luch in the second line? And maybe you bring it up more delicately than that, but like, you know the man better than anyone else. What is he going, like, walk us through how that sounds.
Honest to God, I don't know, because I've never worked with him on the coaching management side of the organization. As a player, he'd go tell you, well, the words wouldn't be, he might just look at you like, you're clearly that stupid, huh? All right. That's probably the look you would get. He might not even answer you. Like, if Connie went in there and asked him that, he might actually just give him the old look, right? You're asking me an idiotic question, and I'm just going to sit here in silence till you F off. Right? Like,
just put my hand with my cup rings on the table and look at him and be like, are you asking me a coaching question?
It wouldn't even, it would just be.
There's some confidence there from the 70-something-year-old.
Right?
I think Daryl does play a long game too, right? It's not game by game, shift by shift. It's part of a
but the long game might not. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, the one variable is they haven't had injuries.
Yep.
The one thing would be is if they had 2 or 3 other bodies around, and all of a sudden now it's I don't know, take any veteran from forward.
Mhm.
And now he's playing up, and Pelletier's still in the fourth line. They've been healthy.
If that hole's just so glaring, though. Milan's
Oh,
a
it
fourth
is.
line.
Yeah, it is. It is. We're all on the same page.
Everyone is. The whole fan base is. I think the GM may even be. That's why this is so hard. We're trying to make it make sense, and it doesn't.
Going to the game tonight, courtesy of our friends over at Mad Rose Pub, $50 gift card and some sweet, sweet seats to go and see the Hawks and the Flames. Congrats to Ashley Stewart. I don't know if it's a he or a she or what the
maybe it's Stewart
male
Ashley.
or female or what, but Ashley.
2 first names. That's
congrats to you. You are off to the game tonight, and by all means, maybe it doesn't have to be today, but it's going to go a long way, that $50 gift card up at Mad Rose. Maybe it's pizza. Maybe it's a special. Maybe it's on that half-off wine night over at Mad Rose. Maybe it's steak, pasta, or wonton soup.
Oh, you got to do the wings. Baked after
wings. Fried. Yeah, wings.
Boom. It's been cold and crappy here. I'm so about the soup right now. 3 days in a row. Soup.
Well, you felt something coming the other day. I bet you the soup fended it off. Aren't you a little worried? A little tickle?
But the sad thing about the soup, I went and got one of those quarts. Let's take a guess what a quart of soup costs a guy.
Quart.
It's no good.
Yeah, food's no good.
No good.
Soup is ridiculously if it's some sort of hoity-toity
chicken noodle soup, Dean. Chicken noodle soup, a quart, US dollars. Come on, let's hear your guess.
$9. $9.
14.
Ooh.
I'm moving down. We're starting a soup store.
My wife, the shoveler, said that. She said, "What did you pay for this soup?" Well, I'm going to start making soup. Yeah, sure you will. You get busy.
Been proud of me the other day. I had because I do the cooking in the house, and there was some ground beef I'd taken out in the morning. It was thawing over the day. What are we going to do with this? You know what we're going to do with this? Some hamburger soup. I was thinking of you.
Oh.
It's pretty damn good. Didn't last long. It was a big hit.
See, the first time I think you had it, I didn't feel like you were overwhelmed by it. Now I feel like you're.
Well, I think what it was, where did we? I had it like at the station or something. It was when it's coming off the pot right out of the old. Delicious.
You gotta have
15 Royal Vista Place, Mad Rose Pub in Royal Oak. 20 beers on tap. Kid friendly. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Great food, great folks. Go and support Matt and everybody up there.
Mm-hmm.
They support us. We ask that you support them. Take care of them over at Mad Rose Pub.
Due for visit maybe next week. Bi-week soup.
Yeah.
Bi-week soup. Let's do it.
Yeah. Now, as far as McLeod Law, we had them for my for Rhett's pseudo concussion and my clunking of the head. A more serious injury report, because I knew that Patrick Kane, and I don't follow Chicago game by game, but I knew he was out. It's like Patrick Kane's out, Patrick Kane's out. I didn't realize it was 3 games that he missed going back. He's been in 6 games since returning. He's got 4 points in the 6 games, but he did miss that 3 games. I guess because big attention because possibly the biggest deadline acquisition if somebody does land.
Yeah, and hasn't looked great this year, but they've taken all his weapons away. DeBrincat gone, Panarin was gone years ago. Like a lot of these guys he's had success with, they're just like, and I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised to see him back to looking like himself if he gets on a deep offensive club with some offensively talented weapons. Here's your injury report for the Chicago Blackhawks, courtesy McLeod Law. Tyler Johnson, ankle issue. Was hurt earlier this year, came back, hurt 4 days ago. It's a hankle.
TJ.
Yes, not to Tommy John, Tyler Johnson. Jujhar Khaira, he's missed a ton of time this year. Undisclosed injury. His last sighting was late December. Jared Tenorti, they grabbed off waivers. Former Habs pick, I want to say. Habs first rounder. He's out with an upper body issue since December 18. And Alex Stalock, who played against the Flames. Rhett and I did that afterburner Sunday night, Flames and Blackhawks. We didn't like him, but he was kind of good. There's rebounds everywhere. The Flames just couldn't do anything with him. He's out with a concussion, leaving them with Mrazek and Stauber, Rob's son.
Rob's kid, yeah.
Remember, another afterburner reference. As for Kane, he's back. You noted it, 6 games, 2 goals, 2 assists for 4 points. He was gone Jan 3 to Jan 14. And yeah, it's less about what he does with the Hawks as a Hawk, so much as where is he post deadline in March, and how big of an ad he'd be. Where would he want to go? He controls the whole process, and I don't think the Hawks are going to tell a legend where he's off to, given he has full control, and there's probably a significant relationship with the organization well beyond his departure.
McLeod Law, visit them online, mcleod.law.com, MCLEOD-law.com. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at McLeod Law, LLC. Your business can't afford a misstep. We get that, and we can help. It is McLeod Law. We're seeing the McLeod Law people next week, too. We got a lot on the go.
Probably dress up a little more than this, eh? Maybe lose the toque and the hoodie.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You do clean up. You get the man bun going.
Yeah, man bun and a nice collared shirt. You can fool him.
Surprise you, Retro. He's a sharp guy. Sharp dress guy.
Get the beard cleaned up.
Before we get into the Pinder report, busy weekend on the go with our friends over at Grey Eagle.
Oh.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, the Grey Eagle Event Center. It's going to be shaking like a wet dog in there this weekend. Shows Friday, shows Saturday, always reasons to go by and check out things at the casino. Go and touch the felt, maybe throw some dice, play some cards, double down, split the eights, all that sort of thing over at the Grey Eagle. Coming up on Friday, Street Heart, special guest Stephanie Harp Experience. It's an 8 o'clock start. That's tomorrow. Today's Thursday. That's the Friday over at the Event Center. And then on Saturday, January 28th, it is The Legendary Life of Tom Petty featuring Clayton Bellamy. Take a listen.
If you stay too long in trouble town, oh, yeah, you wreck me, baby, how you break me.
So The Legendary Life of Tom Petty is an evening of music taking you through the life and story of Tom Petty and all of his adventures and misadventures.
Learning to fly, ain't got wings, coming down, it's the hardest thing.
The story of a rock icon. I hope the audience comes away when they see this show just with a memorable evening of some of their favorite songs. Hey, thanks a lot. This is Clayton Bellamy with The Legendary Life of Tom Petty. We'll see you out on the road.
Clayton Bellamy, Juno Award winner, multi-time CCMA Award winner. Saturday over at the Event Center. And tickets, Ticketmaster.ca, online, Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.ca. But your tickets at Ticketmaster.ca, Grey Eagle Event Center. That show, Saturday.
And it just continues this randomness. It just
The Tom
continues. I've been all about Tom Petty
guys-
and the truck.
Ah,
Well, I'm breaking up.
keep going.
Yeah.
I was just saying, over the last week, all I've played is Tom Petty in the truck with the kids. Loving it.
I was just thinking, my boys need some Tom Petty.
Tom Petty, not that anybody, but everybody, when you have like a celebrity or a musician pass away, some of them hit harder. That one hit really hard. I guess just because of my age, working in radio, you just played and had so much Tom Petty. And damn, right?
Yeah.
That was a real bummer. Not an old guy. You felt like he still had so many miles to put on. So that'll be a neat one. Clayton Bellamy, talented guy, and obviously there with the Legendary Life of Tom Petty stories and all that. So cool. Get that on your weekend plans.
I remember
Ticketmaster.ca
visiting my aunt in Kelowna, and they had the huge CD collection, and I think there was a Tom Petty double album, and just like that was always on. It's just like, oh man, yes.
Yeah.
Your favorite? Free Falling?
I just remember when Full Moon Fever came out. That was just like, wow, okay, this is pretty good. And you do when you work on kind of a classic rock / light rock, new rock radio station.
Yeah. You hear
You know what Tom Petty is? Radio friendly.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's very radio friendly. Let's do the Pinder report. It's a presentation of Village Honda. They want to buy your car. You slide by, the no obligation appraisal. They'll give one of these. You know what they're going to have? They're going to have a clipboard. They'll be doing one of these things. All right. will give you $90,000.
Whoa! I'm on another car to bring here.
I've got 4 more like these at home. It's not $90 million, but you're no obligation appraisal. You can get it done today. You sell it to Village Honda, get paid in 24 hours, no hassle. Up at the Northwest Auto Mall, your dealership for life. It's Village Honda. Here is the Pinder Report.
All right, gentlemen, Calgary Flames game day. We've talked about it. The Hawks are in town, Rhett. This is the second of 3 meetings. The last meeting comes in the final week of the regular season. We covered that game where they stubbed their toe, fell in overtime, surrendered a 3-1 lead early. Markstrom gets the hook. If you took 5 of 6 in the season series, I think you'd be okay with it. You're going to need to win tonight and in that last week of the year to get there. This will be interesting. Flames have recalled Dennis Gilbert. We know Tanev will not play before the All-Star break. Afterwards, they're hopeful it won't be too long, maybe even the first game back, Feb 6. But we know he won't play tonight nor tomorrow. Gilbert, we've liked it. He's fought a fair amount. He's played physical. He's looked comfortable at the level, and he seems to be the type of guy that I think Daryl's enjoyed because he's not holding anything back when he's playing. He's here to impress.
Because he goes out there and he's doing the things that he needs to do to stick around. So he's not one of those guys that's coming up and just trying to stay out of the way. So I've liked Gilbert. No problem.
Scrapping a ton.
Daryl will notice that. Is he?
Yeah.
So.
And he's a Dennis.
Denny?
There's not many
Denny
Dennises kicking around.
Dennis.
You should see his
last
uncle.
Dennis.
Oh, baby.
Oh, yeah? Okay. As for those Flames lines, same as usual. So don't worry if you missed him. It's still Pelche, Walker Duer, and Trevor Lewis on that fourth line. Lewis looked pretty good lately. We'll see. As for the Flames themselves, we a nice little check-in here from one of our pals on Twitter as the pace these forward group and I guess all skaters are on for points. Let's have a look what guys are projected to get this year based on their production through what? Nearly 50 games here? Where are we at? Lindholm, 73. Toffoli, 29 goals, 68 points. Kadri, 30-plus he's on pace for. Huberdeau, 58. That's less than half of what he had. No, it's not. It's exactly half. 57.5 is 115. Rasmus Anderson, look at that. Nearly on pace for 60 points. Anything jump out at you there? Look, man, Japan, you could keep her going, please.
The only thing that jumps out to me is that's not enough points for a team that's, I mean, in general, you need someone higher up the NHL scoring leaderboard if you're going to try to make the playoffs.
Huberdeau, what the average of what he's been the last 4 years, I think everything here looks different. It's been a tough go, and I don't know that I'm expecting it to look any different with this, if that line stays the same. Just a guy that feels like he's trying to get a little too cute, working to try to do things very special, and not a lot's clicking for him right now. It's been tough. Doesn't mean it's not going to work later at some point, but boy, it's been a rough viewing through what?
I'm terrible, games. And I'm terrible for high-end players. I don't give them a lot of leeway when it comes to not producing, because I think if you're the high-end talent, it's your job to bring the other guys with you. I don't think that that line does not work for me.
You know who's available? His old line mate for the last couple of years in Florida, Anthony Duclair, is rounding into health. Florida is one of those bubble teams in the East. They may or may not trade him. They have, it feels like another year or two of cap pinch before things loosen up for them. I don't know that wouldn't work really well. No, I'd love to see them try Pelche there, but those two have produced together. I think Duclair was 30 goals last year on that line with Huberdeau. It wouldn't be cheap. He has missed the entirety of the season to this point with injury. He's skated in a don't touch me colored jersey, but if you slid him into that Lucic hole or swapped wings with Huberdeau, I don't know, that wouldn't be a bad fit.
There's a lot of players.
Yeah,
that you would say.
I just know he's played with the guy. That's the only reason I bring him up.
I know.
There's a ton of wingers you could bring in for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we'll talk about that next week and going forward. I just have thoughts on the deadline and all of that. So yeah,
I wouldn't be rushing either if I was Treliving. I'd want a lot of time to see what this group is or isn't. Right? Like everyone's writing their articles now. I think you want to know exactly what the standings look like on Feb 3 or March 3, excuse me.
Oh, buyers and sellers. Who's a buyer? We're over a month away.
Tell me what the standings are. Right?
How many games are between now and then?
Yeah. Are they 5 out? Are they sitting in second in the division? Probably closer to where they are now, to be honest. Finally, we got a tilt last night at the Dome, Red. It wasn't the Flames. It was the HL Wranglers, who had a midweek Tuesday-Wednesday clash with the Ontario Reign. Here is 6'6" or 6'7" Adam Klapka. Ready to go? Sound up.
Versus Adam Klapka. Again, Klapka 6'7". Gone 6'1". As they feed a couple of knuckle sandwiches here right in front of the penalty boxes.
Now listen who jumps in
Gunst's
here. It's our
grabbing
good
guy.
pal.
Klapka's got the reach. They're trying to feel each other out right now. Klapka's trying to push him away and give those chops a shot. But it's a bit of a wrestling match right now. The referees are trying to figure out what to do here.
We got a little bit of tussling and both of them fall to the ground
Yeah.
almost head first,
Yeah.
helmet first.
You know, it's never fun getting punched in the face.
That's our good pal Brent Cron with one of the greatest quotes in the history of hockey. It's never fun getting punched in the face. Attaboy Croner, who wore a mask his whole career.
He's not wrong.
Did you know it was Croner right away, Rhett? I saw your eyes light up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was pumped.
You're like, well, it can't be John Candy because he's not. Yeah, it's got to be Croner.
It's never fun getting punched in the face.
It was a
He's got away with words.
Good analysis,
doesn't
folks.
he?
You can't get that analysis everywhere.
To the ground
Rhett-
almost head first,
Yeah.
helmet first.
You know, it's never fun getting punched in the face.
They're paying him to do that, I think.
I don't know if they were. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. Yeah, I'm
Well,
not
I'd
sure.
at least pick up the media meal if he's going to have zingers like
That's
that
good
all
stuff.
season.
Love it.
Have you sent out birthday wishes today for, I'm sure, someone you've
Me
been
and
thinking
Wayne?
about? That you and Wayne, you sent Wayne a happy birthday?
Mhm. The Gretzky,
There-
then the
happy
Gretzky,
birthday
that's how it works.
to Wayner,
big du-
who
the 99s.
62 years ago.
Might be on a
There he
boat
is.
with Wayne in Florida. Look out, boys.
You're going to be?
I don't know.
Oh, man. Tinkler's setting you up down there, eh? Your boat, go
Yep.
fishing with Wayner?
I don't know if we're fishing. I think it's more of a hospitality type deal.
He's good at that. I don't know if he's good at fishing.
What is it you said Wayne was going to be doing today?
Celebrating.
Okay.
Yeah, I just hope he relaxes and lets his guard down. Maybe have a drink. Here's this is incredible. So this is the stats on Wayne. Fastest to get to 1,000 points. That surprises nobody. 424 games. But actually, also the second fastest to 1,000 because after he got 1,000 points, 1,001 to 2,000, he did in 433 games. And if you're wondering who else did their second 1,000 the quickest, no one else has got to 2,000.
Yeah. It's
Yogs was close but couldn't get there. Yeah, GOAT for sure.
that is you know what that's
incredible.
an
stat.
incredible stat
Yeah,
when you think about it.
his
Not just
second
the
1,000
pace
points. Yeah.
is ridiculous, but to go just slightly at a slower pace from 1,001 to 2,000. Good heavens.
I was also looking, and that doesn't count as WHA points. Of course, year one with Edmonton, they were WHA, and he had a really short stint with the Indianapolis Racers as well. There's another 100 points there. It's insane. I always felt like the Marlowe thing bothered you guys, and it was like, if they just counted freaking Gordie Howe's games in the WHA, it wouldn't be close. But yeah, they ignore that league. I get it. I'll move along. Look at Johnny Hockey getting physical in Edmonton last night, Rhett. You're going to love this. You know, you think this doesn't burn for him still playing the Oilers? Stinking McDavid? Watch this. Johnny
Leaning down
McElbows.
afterwards, he was getting looked at the bench. One hit on Gaudreau. Gaudreau didn't like it, so he comes back as one cross check, and this is the second one that takes him down. I believe that's where the call was made. Leaning down.
Now, is that Johnny Muscles or is this Connor McDiver? What are we seeing here, Rhett? Walk us through.
Well, you know what kind of sucks is that why is McDavid okay to get away with the first cross check?
I get one there for him, one there for him, and then I'm going to fall backwards. Oh! Or did he get pushed over by hulking Johnny Gaudreau, who spent every moment since Calgary in the
Here,
gym?
Yeah, I'm going to cross check you, but
Cutting down my buddy Johnny.
But he cut him down. He's taking care of business here. He's either making McDavid look like a diver or he's looking strong. There's no losses there in the Johnny column.
Boy, Johnny.
Johnny.
good for him.
You show them. You show them. I had it in there a moment ago. Let's take a peek at the standings. Just a real quick reference of where the Flames are at. They're still 9th in the West by points percentage. Minnesota now is lurking around them in the standings, higher by points percentage, 1 point behind with 2 games in hand. Edmonton only got 1 point out of that Columbus game last night. So
that's my concern for tonight. That's my concern for tonight.
Got to get her going. Yeah, you don't need another 1-goal game against a cellar dweller. It'd be nice to, tuck one of these things away. They haven't been awful at that this year. The Flames leading by a goal are one of the worst teams at hockey. As crazy as that sounds.
Do not take the Hawks for lightly, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
For lightly.
Well, they've lost to him 3 weeks ago, and they got Kane back since then. You're going to like this. We'll stay with hockey really quick. If you can't be in Jasper this weekend with Boom Boom and I for the pond hockey tournament, one of the great Calgary sporting events that's been missing for 3 years has returned. The Crowchild Classic is back. Dinos, Cougars, 4 o'clock women's game, 7 o'clock men's game. Now get this, always good, Rhett, huge crowds, boozy. But right now today, Cougars are 4th in Canada, the men's team. Dinos number 1 in Canada, 17-game winning streak. These are 2 of the best university teams in the country, head-to-head with a huge crowd at the Dome. Boozy, McBooze face.
It doesn't have to be boozy, McBooze face. You can take your family and enjoy a nice night out watching some great underrated level of hockey. We talked about it in the pre-show.
Phenomenal.
To go and watch the Dinos or it's great. It's great hockey. It's fast. You're right on the glass. It's very much underrated. And this one is fun because all of the student bodies show up. They put half on one side, so you got the blue, and then you got the red, and they're chanting at each other. It's as close as you get to some U.S. collegiate type stuff.
I love it.
And they do ram it in there. So yes, if you would like to have a drink, by all means, go and enjoy yourself.
Boozy McBooze face, boozy.
You don't need to.
Okay.
Be a Pinder.
You know who wasn't being a Pinder? Terry Francona, who bought on rubber. I remember him,
I do,
skipper.
Yeah.
He had his scooter stolen. Some jerk lifted his damn scooter.
Like one of those riding, like an old man scooter?
Luckily, they found it. We got a picture. There.
Oh, look at
I'm like, Terry, stolen in Cleveland. Police returned it to him. There's your photo. Can we zoom in on that, Alex? I know I'm asking a lot there, but that's Terry on. That does look more like a moped than a motorbike. That is a very interesting choice for an MLB manager.
That's the one Rhett used in that Ride for Life, the charity ride.
That's
for the
right.
kids.
Yeah, the bicycle ride for the kids.
Sponsor me.
And Rhett stole that one too. If you're looking for another one,
Yeah.
it's in Warner's garage.
I know
in
where the
Calgary.
guy was. How am I supposed to give it back? It's a good question, right?
Yeah,
Good question. Finally, we've had some moose content last week on Friday. You were gone, Dean, but we saw a moose shake off his
like
antlers.
Manitoba moose.
No, this is a real large ungulate.
Oh, is that right?
That's right. A moose got stuck in a fence. Now, luckily, Rhett and the shoveler were there to set it free from the fence. As we got some footage here. Have a listen.
Good outdoorsy people, hey?
See, he's got his hoof in there or something.
Be moose meat if I was there. Look out, buddy.
Look out.
Look out.
Careful. Oh, whoa,
That's a big girl.
Up, hip.
Good girl.
Good girl.
Off you go,
There's
baby.
the shoveler. Yeah. Shoveler sounds like she's been hitting some
You're
menthols.
welcome. I know she's thankful. I did. Okay, now let's go.
So good. Thanks for doing that, Rhett. Appreciate it. That's kind of you to do that. You know, you're a mountaineer.
Well, I want everybody safe out there. I gotta maybe cut that fence down. Dangerous.
Yeah.
Speaking of dangerous, yesterday on the show, pre-show, post-show, the boys in the studio were messing around with smelling salts. Let's have a look and a listen to how that's gone for everyone. We're not familiar with these, Rhett. As non-former NHLers, we'd not really dabbled in the sniffing salts before. Bunch of wimps.
Big show coming. Let's go.
Just a stink.
Let's do this. Right?
Oh!
Right?
Whoa!
See, because we were doing it the wrong way.
Oh, I put my beak right in there. That is crazy.
We didn't put the water in.
Holy shit.
Yep.
Oh.
Showtime.
So ready. You jar sniffer?
Holy shit.
All right, we're going to have a good one today, right?
Wow.
For sure. Dead man.
That's fucking great.
It's not that it stinks; it just hurts.
Yeah, your body like rejects it. It's like
Yes.
some sort of emergency response from your body, just like leave, escape.
Yeah.
It's like adrenaline, or I don't know. Like it's just like no, stop, go away.
It goes right to your medulla oblongata. It goes like right to the back of your head.
Tui.
Good stuff.
I didn't
traction on
realize
social.
they use it a lot for weightlifting right before you lift.
Really? Oh, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I do for
Yep.
sure.
Yeah. Excuse me.
That's
I'm about
Did you say
when I'm
weight
about to
loss
do
or
the
weight lifting?
the snatch. I always
That's your Pinder report for Village
Oh.
Honda.
VillageHonda.com. The brand new 2023 Honda Passport Trail Sport is in stock. It's in the showroom. You're going to love it. Northwest Auto Mall, your dealership for life. It's the Pinder report. Want to tell you today. Now, today is Thursday. Now,
No show tomorrow, Jasper.
no show tomorrow.
We'll try to fire some content up to the YouTubes though.
But as far as today, Monday at Montana's Barbecue and Bar, you got the wings, and we talk about tacos on Tuesday and the ribs.
Oh, I can eat Wednesdays.
You know what it is today? Just go. There's always drink specials, always something going on. But this would be a good opportunity for you to go and check out the brand new comfort menu that they launched just over a week ago. We talked about the 4-cheese spinach dip. We had the apple crisp. I'm going to have to tie into this Chipotle Firecracker Burger.
That's what it looks.
Canadian Angus burger sauce with Chipotle honey barbecue sauce. So you got your salty, your sweet in there. Bacon, Cajun onions, lettuce, real cheddar cheese, crispy jalapenos on a toasted Ace Bakery bun. Comes with a choice of seasoned fries or house salad. I know which one you're going to be doing. Look at that burger.
Yeah, I know.
Look at that.
And no
son
one
of a gun.
says jalapeno better than Rhett.
jalapeno. I don't know.
There it is.
Jalapeno?
Yeah, that's good.
Jalapeno.
So
Go
that
to
story-
montanas.ca. Find the nearest Montanas to you and go and enjoy some of that comfort food. I know the temperatures here in Calgary, at least in Alberta, can be going down a little bit. Then's when you need that comfort food. Pot roast soup
And
and your mac and cheese.
The Wolverine is clueless. I texted you guys, and he replied with the wrong answer, and it was Montana's that I was at when I had my concussion.
Oh,
That's the
Now,
restaurant I was sitting at.
You didn't have your concussion at Montana's.
Yeah, you're with.
No.
You were sitting and eating at Montana's when it just happened to dawn on you. Maybe you were concussed.
Yes, I was at Montana's with a concussion.
Yes.
He brought it there with him. No one cracked him over the head with a set of antlers.
No.
Yeah.
They sing happy birthday to you there, too. If you got
They do it a different way. I noticed that when we were there.
it's never fun getting punched in the face.
It's
There we
okay.
go.
Time for some Ask Rhett. You feel good? Do you need some
yeah, I
smelling
forgot
salts to
about that.
open things
I
up? You
would-
feel all
I
right?
That should be a thing. I think I should do smelling salt before every Ask Rhett, so I got no excuse
Yeah.
not to perform.
Now, Shaman from Hope Street, you said you were talking to him.
Yeah, what's
And
going
then
on?
you ducked out what's
Top secret.
So he emails and he says, "Hey, can you blah 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 blah?" I'm like, "Well, hi Shane, hope things are." So I reply with, "I need some info." Blah 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 blah. No reply.
I see.
So I don't know if I said the wrong thing or I'm just.
Maybe
No,
he's
I
on
don't-
vacation. He's a busy guy.
Oh, he's a busy guy. I saw that they were at their Vancouver location celebrating the Lunar New Year. All
Nice.
kinds of things going on. I think maybe when you have locations in Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary, and you're the owner of a business, maybe you're busy
No. I don't know.
as
Oh.
opposed to just having soup.
I owned it. I
Day
owned the
after
business,
day.
and I didn't do it.
$40. Hey, sure, man. You wouldn't believe what soup costs in Buffalo.
Time for Ask Rhett. It is a presentation of Hope Street Rental Property Management. With Hope Street, they take all of the work out of your hands. Managing tenants, finding those premium rental rates. You rest easy knowing that your property is safe and protected. You can book a virtual meeting online and let Hope Street get to work for you. They are the Canadian Property Manager of the Year. As mentioned, locations in Vancouver, Edmonton, and Calgary. The website, Retro.
HopeStreet.ca.
Been a lot of singing on the show today.
Pre-show,
Yeah,
especially.
you need the jazz hands there. You need the jazz hands. You can get your questions through to Rhett. Ask Rhett at FlamesNation.ca. Time for Ask Rhett. Hey, Rhett. So, there was a scenario at the local rec center the other day. Public pool. Buddy is walking around in white Calvin Klein underwear.
Oh, dear.
Not much left of the imagination. I've got my kids there. I'm a little ticked off. Should I have confronted the guy and tell him off, or just let him be?
Clearly, this person doesn't have a clue about rights and wrongs, so I think confronting him puts you squarely in the with a bullseye on you. I would have got someone that worked there and mentioned that, is this acceptable behavior? What are the requirements? Can we deal with this in a mature manner? Because we won't be returning if this continues.
If someone's
Or you
making
could
that
be
decision,
or you could be the European style and just everybody, woohoo, let's go, just freestyle it, everybody.
Do not do that if you're watching or listening.
Not at a
Do
public
not
pool, no.
freestyle at the public pool.
when you're in Europe, feel free to freestyle.
Yeah.
But the person that's making this decision, we have questions about already. I don't know that that's the person you need to confront, to Rhett's point.
No,
If they think that's a good decision, how they respond to you is probably equally confounding.
Question. So if you have a swimsuit, swim trunks with the liner, the netting inside, are you wearing underwear, or are you shedding the underwear and then putting on just your swim trunks?
No. If there's what the hell's a liner for? Why would you wear your? No, there's no.
I agree. But I do see a lot of people, and it's more the board shorts that don't have the liner. They keep their underwear on. But it's where are you on the tighty whities? Are you tighty whities? Are you
I
boxer
don't own,
brief,
and I
straight
won't
boxer?
own, and I refuse to own. So no, I don't need tighty whities anyway. Terry Carter used to wear tighty whities. It freaked me out. First roommate, he's strutting around the hotel room like. "Ugh."
After I had my vasectomy and my balls swole up to the size of a volleyball, they wanted me to wear tighty whiteys. It was
But
rough.
you had the twist. The twist.
That was
happened,
after.
man.
That was after. That was torsion. Torsion on the testes.
It wasn't good.
No bueno.
So what is your show about? There's this podcast you do?
Hey, Rhett, how much of an impact on the team was it when the Flames traded Ference, Kobasu for Primo and Stewart? I feel like that's where the Flames started to decline after the run.
Many a team has made a trade that they thought was important and upgrading, and it upset the balance of not power, but the chemistry in the room. And even though Primo and Stewart were good dudes, good players, it was a terrible decision. Terrible. And I'll say it again. Terrible.
Do you know who that conversation is about real quick right now? It's Boston. They're absolutely humming. Everything's gone wonderfully. Do you risk messing with the chemistry if you chase Horvat, or is it just let these guys cook their own heat right now? Like, how would you view that?
How many times have teams made trades and you're like, well, that didn't work? Like, it happens. It's not 100%, and I'm not a stats nerd like Pinder, but there's no way it's even close to being 50-50 either, right? Like,
it's because if you don't win the cup, you've screwed up, right?
Yeah, it's like Brian Burke says, only one team gets the cup. So.
And so last year, it's like, okay, you added Manson if you're Colorado and a couple other pieces. Those worked, and Tampa, it's like, okay, you added Coleman and you added Hagel and all these, but there's only one
the
cup.
thing is,
there's a lot of rental things that didn't go that well.
But you may have won anyway, right? Like,
Manson was a big piece. Sure, I'll play along.
Do you know what you just don't know. I that was a big deal when we lost Ference and Kobasu, because they were so big in the room and we were all tight-knit group, like very tight.
See, that's the thing. Adding Manson for draft picks or whatever, you're just adding.
Well, just like the Boston stuff,
right?
I think,
that's a deletion. You're taking guys out of the room.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's to me because Stewart's a fine player or whatever, and Primo was what Primo was. But yeah, I think it was. And I'm going on what you've told, what anybody that was in the room that generation, that era said, yeah, as soon as Ference and and Chucky left, it was
Big voice and big person.
I learned that early because Jason Woolley and Stu Barnes for Chris Wells, who's in Alberta right now. Hi, Wellsy. Like,
it was.
Again, the reason we were successful in Florida the first year I was there, and even the first 2 years of existence for that franchise, was the room. That's it. That's all.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all. You want to see muck? Go look at those lineups. But everyone, the room was so good. You knew what you had to do. You took care of each other. Make a trade. Well, we're going to improve our talent level and blah, blah, blah. No. Careful what you wish for.
It's funny with Boston, and again, it's different. That wasn't a deadline deal. That was kind of a hockey trade. But you mentioned Boston, and you go to this year. It's like Taylor Hall is a third liner on that Boston team. Where are you going to try and improve? Right? Maybe you add, but you don't delete. But I go back. One of the ones that stands out in my memory, and you were on it right away. It was Boston trading for Rick Nash. Yeah. They give up a first rounder to get Rick Nash, and it was instantly you're like, I don't see the fit. No, and it didn't work.
David Krejci's been big for them. We haven't talked about that. He didn't play last year's in Europe, comes back and still looks like a 2C. If you push him down a line, like goodness, like bring in Bo Horvat. He's a leader. I don't think that guy's going to bring anything but positive energy.
How much better can you be?
Well, it's not about how much better can you be. It's if you're this close to winning a cup, how could you not make that one more move to add another guy that's on pace to score 50? I don't know.
But then what happens with Charlie Coyle and what?
The reason you don't make the move, is just because of what we said. You have a room, and even if a guy comes in, isn't a disruption, there's only so much ice time, right? And barring injury, they've got the right amount of ice time. Everyone's fitting nicely, blah, 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 blah. Now, if someone gets hurt, sure. That'd be great to have an extra guy sitting there in the wings, easy, that's capable of, and as quality as Horvat. But I wouldn't do anything if I'm Boston.
Well, and then the flip side of it is it's not trade, but you talk all the time about that 04 team and how absolutely decimated you got on the back end. There was Dion sitting right there. Sure, the chemistry in the room might have changed, but you probably got a ring if he's playing on the century level, right?
We absolutely get a ring, and they're too effing cheap to play a guy. They're raking in millions of dollars that playoff run. It's
just give him the max deal. Let's go. This shouldn't have been a negotiation. He's the 6-7 overall pick.
Jesus Christ!
So now you want to add to the room? Yeah,
I get both sides.
I get both sides.
That was there.
Adding Bo Horvat to this team now would be different than we're completely decimated. Please draft pick of ours, of course, sign and come in and play.
You had said with injury, like you don't know at the deadline whether you're going to be healthy or not. Like an extra guy, like, phew, I'm so glad we did this. Or to your point,
yeah, but you can't add Bo Horvat.
You don't know which one.
Anyway.
More good, a nice little walk down memory lane for you, Rhett. Hey, Rhett, I was at Game 7 of that playoff against the Ducks, and it has haunted me since. I remember the Flames came out really flat and never got a good rally going. I always wondered what the heck was going on in the dressing room. The third period was especially flat. What's the story?
There's no story. Stefan Yell said it at my house after that game, and I never even thought about it. I didn't understand it. I think we were all confused by it. But Yeller actually said that he felt that we'd been pushed too hard to secure home ice, and that our emotion and our energy levels had been strained, depleted, blah, 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 because we were all year, it was the whip was out and we got to get home ice. Well, by Game 7, we were already, I think everyone forgets too, if you want to go back to the halfway point of that year and look at where Anaheim was in the standings and look where they finished, that team was on a heater, which is often the case of teams that do well in the playoffs, right? You go in hot, and they were flying. There was, I think it was February. I think we even played them, and where they were like, well, they may or may not. They might be sellers, right? Like they were talking about dumping guys, and all of a sudden, they started winning. And they were playing good effing hockey. So it's not an excuse for being flat as far as the Flames, but I think you underestimate that team was pretty talented.
Well, I remember it's the 04-05, and then when do they win the cup? They had Pronger the following year?
No, 04-05 was a lockout. 05-06.
Yeah, 05-06. And then Edmonton, right? It's
Colorado.
That was
and
hindsight,
Edmonton went on the heater that year to go to the final. Right?
Yeah, Olsen was dialed, right?
They had to. So anyway, blah blah blah.
Anyway,
I think it was less about us and more about them kicking our ass. Really.
Hey, Rhett, do you have an Instant Pot in your household? And if not, why not?
I don't have a Instant Pot, but I have a pressure cooker air fryer combo.
This is quite the machine. The more we have him talk about it, the more I think this is a unicorn.
You know,
can you go get it?
The shoveler effed up my boneless beef ribs in there last night too, by the way. My short ribs. Yeah.
Short leash, how about that?
I am surprised you're letting her near any kind of a meat product in the kitchen.
Listen.
That's kind of your thing, isn't it?
Dean, I had everything. I had it all set up, right? I had everything organized, set up. The meat was in the pot, ready.
Press on, that's it.
Okay. Listen, shoveler. Here, listen. You push this button, and then you turn the dial, and then that, and then it'll just 3 buttons. 3. That was 2, but 3. Come home. On the way home from the rink, I get the text message. I should just read it because I don't want to misquote anyone. You know, we're about quality control here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really, really sorry, but apparently I didn't push the button twice, so it didn't start. I just tried again, and it kept pushing the circle, and it hasn't turned from orange. Crying emoji.
Yeah. She felt bad, clearly. She knows what meat means to you.
Well, and her family's not too far away. If you have to kick her out, it's, time will heal all wounds.
A lot of good it does me, her feeling bad when my short ribs are ruined.
Priorities.
It's true. And the last question, and this one comes from me.
Oh.
Big plans for your birthday, big boy?
Well,
no, 2 people in the house are going to Detroit Rock City tomorrow for some hockey. So I'll have the other 2 dopes. My one kid loves sushi, but I can't find a good sushi joint down here. The food sucks. Yeah. Pizzas are good. Wings are good.
Junk food's good, right?
Yeah, the things I shouldn't be eating are delicious.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's nothing on the docket, Dino. Nothing.
Because you do enjoy celebrating. Now it's Rhett's birthday tomorrow. We don't have a show tomorrow.
In honor of Rhett's birthday.
Yeah, of course. So 47 now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, tomorrow, yeah.
Feels like it's kind of close to, because I'm in the same boat. You're starting to feel like, geez, I'm flirting with.
It's not a great feel, Dean. It's not a great feel. I'll be honest with you. No,
it's a shits. Yeah.
What really is the chronological order of you 2?
He's way older. He's 3 years older than I am.
Well, he's not 3 years older because he'd be flirting with that big number he's talking about.
No. Well, he is. He's flirting with it. It's a couple months.
I'm later in the calendar year. He's obviously January 27th. 2 years.
Same birth year?
No.
2 years.
2 years.
You're flirting. All right, Rhett. We got some side chat. We got some messages here to get.
Shittiest part about it is that neither one of us are going to make it. So enjoy where
make it to what?
The 5-0.
Immortality or 50.
Yeah, the half century. I think.
I got shit to do if I can't make.
We need some huge advancements in the medical industry if we're planning on the big 5-0 part.
Can you imagine what he's going to do?
In the case, yeah.
He's going to lop his head off and have it sitting in a jar in the shelf behind us.
Yeah. Cryogenics, man.
You guys should pay for that. You should pay for that for me. That should be my birthday present tomorrow.
Yes, this is a new thing. We pay for it.
Cryogenic. HopeStreet.ca is the website. Again, maybe what you need to do, Retro, is book that virtual meeting online.
Oh,
right? Rather than
but how do I know I'm
sending
getting
out
shaman?
a random text. Just get Hope Street working for you. Property Manager of the Year. It's everything that encompasses the whole, whether you want to rent or need to rent your spot. Hope Street does it better than anyone. Finding, managing tenants, handling the dough, handling all of the nonsense. They are the best at it. HopeStreet.ca, Vancouver, Edmonton, and Calgary. Shaman and his folks, they've got it going. They got it humming.
They're going to background check people so you don't get deadbeats like Rhett not paying their bills, living in your house.
That's
Things
right.
like that.
Betway Bets. Betway Bets.
Do it.
Betway Bets. What we're going to do is, because football, football, big football.
Big football.
Oh, we're going to pull this off. We're going to be driving. We're busy this weekend. It's not ideal.
What the hell are you driving for? Just stay there and come home the next day. What's the rush?
Could do that. I was thinking about zipping into Banff and maybe watching a game there, but then I would definitely not be sober.
No.
Yeah, I got to get home.
Yeah, Mama's got to work and kids and stuff like that. It's not ideal.
For Christ's sakes, your kids are old enough to help out. Give them some responsibility.
Betway Bets of the day. We're down to the Final Four in the National Football League. The Buffalo Bills are...
Actually, you're right. It's not worth watching, so don't worry about it.
That's right.
Shoveler's rattled.
Here's my picks. Now, the line on this Bengals-Chiefs game has kind of been moving around.
It was 2.5 for KC out of the gate, and then it swung all the way to 2.5 for Cincinnati, and now it's come back to earth. Now it's only a half point.
I sent this in, and it does. It's changing as...
like literally by the hour here.
No, still the same, at least as we record this. I'm going to take the Bengals. I fear a little bit that Mahomes is suddenly going to be okay, and everybody's too in love with Joe Burrow. And then you remember, that offensive line that's dinged up. It's still dinged up. I don't,
held up hard against Buffalo.
It was fun against Buffalo. I'm going to take the Bengals. It's essentially a straight up minus 0.5 on the road, and I am going to take the Niners. Philadelphia at home.
Phillies look good.
Philly has looked very good.
Have they been tested? I do wonder that. I don't think the Giants was a real, hey, check out this playoff team. It was like, these dopes got in.
But did they stumble much down the stretch? Not really. Jalen Hurts was out for a while, so you can't really, I don't even know if you can count those games.
When he's been right, they've not really had a lot of close games. They steamroll people.
I'm going to go with the Niners. Give me the points, plus 2.5, San Fran in Philly.
2 road teams, eh, Dean?
That's right.
Ballsy.
I don't know.
My picks, I've got Cincinnati as well. They beat Kansas City last year. I don't know why we don't think they could do it again. And I'm going to go the other side. I'm following the money here. I don't really have a feel on this, but there's a lot of sharp money on the Eagles versus the Niners. It'd be a nice story if Brock, big save, Purdy got through to the final there, but I don't know. Maybe it's a year of destiny for the Eagles.
Taking 2 favorites. A lot of chalk there, Ryan.
It depends when. I mean, Kansas City was a favorite for a few days there.
And Retro, you are not no Bills, as we mentioned this week. No. You've got the Bengals as well on the road in Kansas City by a half point, and you are also on the Niners as I taking the 2.5 points.
I have a buddy by the name of Brian Purdy, so I gotta support my boy. Gotta support.
No choice. Got to do it.
Old U of S Husky. What a
Scott Purdy works on my hip.
Is that right?
And he's a physio guy.
Is that the chocolate guy or no?
No. So that's why I'm on the Niners as well.
Was your hip injured because of your tumble down the ski hill or your fall at the rink where you hit your head?
No, neither. Could be that age thing we were talking
too much
about.
biking.
Maybe
too much biking.
No, you know what? It was not enough biking. And actually, now that I'm biking again, I'm feeling it's starting to come around. No, it's tight as shit, but it's stronger.
Well, you don't want tight shit.
Because you know what happens when something's not right, the other side starts to compensate, and then you get all you get one of those going.
Sorry, what was it?
Betway Bets of the day. We are off tomorrow. We are off to Jasper. It is the Jasper Pond Hockey Tournament. We got roped into this thing.
We're going to regale you with stories of our rags to riches
friggin' Downton up in Edmonton. Yeah, you guys got to come to the thing. They do it at Lake Louise. Could have done that one. But no, we're going to Jasper. We're looking forward to it. You haven't been in a long time. I've never been. We're going to be out Supporting the cause, which is
Drinking beer and playing hockey.
that's right.
It's a
Yeah,
good cause for the
somehow
kids,
still for the
maybe.
kids.
I don't know.
Do you
But,
think they're
we're
going to
be up
hate?
there.
Are they going to hate you up there? Like,
Yes. Yes.
Dude, it's
Oh yeah.
that's home turf for the Edmontonians.
That's big oil country up
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Big
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
We're doing tomorrow night. Yeah, it's going to be
There's gonna be a lot of that.
Frank Seravalli's coming up. He and yourself and I are going to be doing a hot stove of something tomorrow.
Good.
It's going to how's your team guys good? It's going to be a lot of that. So I can't wait. But we are looking forward to, in a way, because there was no Christmas party, it'll be our first real kind of mixing with the Oilers Nation people.
The unwashed.
Oh,
Yeah.
lucky you.
Yeah, well, we'll get to hear about the second dynasty, and that'll be great. And we won't want to leave it all Sunday morning. We'll wish we could do it again one more time.
We've talked about Jasper a lot. There is a lot going on. They've done a heck of a job getting that community, the whole area ready for not just this, but all of January. Jasper.travel/January is the website to go and see. And January is almost over. It's not like they're shutting the town down.
They know what they're doing up there.
Jasper.travel. Go and check it out and see all that there is to see and do. All 4 seasons. Good reasons to get to Jasper.
I saw some pictures of the jacuzzis they got up there. Oh,
Is that right?
oh yeah.
You're going to wear
To-go
your
mug in the
white
jacuzzi.
Calvin. You're going to wear your
Are you going to
white
wear your
Calvin
tidy
Klein.
whities?
No, I'm going Euro. Jasper's like,
Yeah.
Jasper.
Jasper. Yeah, very much so. So yes, no show tomorrow, and I believe no show Friday. Or Monday, pardon me.
I was gonna say tomorrow is Friday.
Yeah.
That would check out.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that this is noticed by all the listeners and viewers that this is not a Rhett issue. So the next time Rhett needs a day off, I don't want any guff from the likes of you two.
Well, I'll do the show tomorrow if you'd like.
I don't care.
Okay. Then we'll do the show tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah. I'm the fuck that.
driving.
No way. He's off all next week. Here
Oh,
he's
he's gonna
talking about,
check
hey,
in.
I'm good to go. I'm good to go. I'm not sure I can do the Tuesday and the Thursday. I got
Hey.
about 4 minutes. I could maybe
Listen,
come on by Friday. You couldn't have picked a worse day.
Wednesday's no good for me.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
You and the Tinkler. Hey?
I know we got a lot in the mixer going on in Florida. Oh, baby. Why don't you fly
Florida's
down? you
going to
cheap
Florida
pricks?
for the All-Star.
Come
break.
on.
I'd be Googling IVs, Rhett. I know how it went in
Yeah.
Florida last time I was there.
I don't need to.
So it's a
Google
moving target. We don't
it.
know when there's shows. We don't think there's one tomorrow. Is that fair?
Absolutely. We got to get to Jasper. We got to get all set up. I want you doing
You-
plyometrics. We
Why
gotta
is
get
it
ready for this.
6.5 hours away?
It's not 6.5 hours. Stop slandering Jasper with misinformation. Okay?
Yeah, I
Go on your
don't think
friggin'
it's right.
phone.
It's a
Go
beautiful drive.
here to Jasper. How long is it?
4.5 hours.
Well, that's
I mean, I know math's never been the forte, but
okay, prick.
off by 2 hours.
Jasper Park Lodge. 6 hours, 15 minutes. Go fuck your hat.
434 right here.
How the fuck? What are you talking about?
Well, you drive like an old lady. That's why I've seen you out there.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's based on my speedometer. Google, you don't know what you're doing.
Google Maps right here.
You gotta use
434.
So that's a big
It's
difference,
412
fellas. That's a
kilometers. I don't. Are you going
big
through
difference.
Rocky Mountain House?
Jasper Park Lodge.
You know,
Google it.
I'm telling you, you're off here.
We're not doing a show tomorrow. I'm going to beat the fuck out of Pinder.
I'm sorry, my time
Jasper
measurements are
Park
right and yours
Lodge.
is wrong.
I can't
apologize.
wait to spend the weekend with Pinder.
There you go.
It's going to be great.
There's a toll route.
You
Me and him
guys,
Coins.
Me and him in the hot tub. It's going to be awesome.
You got your better half.
Wish you
there.
could be
lots
there.
of picks,
We
fellas.
should be there.
Lots of picks.
media.
Afterburner tonight.
Yep, that's correct. Myself and Ryan Pike.
FlamesNation.ca.
Flames Nation will be at the rink, do his post game. We'll get him on.
There you go.
Talk about, well, clearly another hard fought 1-goal game. The Hawks are in town.
Don't lose this.
Second to last. Please don't lose this
Don't
fucking
lose
game.
this game.
Second to last game before the All-Star break, Seattle tomorrow. This is, you win. It's 6 of 8 on the homestand, which is pretty damn good after you soiled yourself against Colorado.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Tomorrow.
Hey, thanks a lot. All
Yeah.
the best.
What are you going to do when you get to
you
Jasper
and,
2 hours early?
you and yours.
All this free time.
See you, buddies. Have a good one.
Ah!
Oilers suck.